Poetic realism was a film movement in France of the 1930s, more a tendency than a movement. Poetic realism is not strongly unified like Soviet montage or French Impressionism, but were individuals who created this lyrical style. Its leading filmmakers were Pierre Chenal, Jean Vigo, Julien Duvivier, Marcel Carné, and, perhaps the movement's most significant director, Jean Renoir. Renoir made a wide variety of films, some influenced by the leftist Popular Front group, and even a lyrical short feature film. Frequent stars of these films were Jean Gabin, Michel Simon, Simone Signoret, and Michel Morgan. Poetic realism films are recreated realism, stylized and studio-bound, rather than approaching the socio-realism of the documentary. They usually have a fatalistic view of life, with their characters living on the margins of society, either as unemployed members of the working class or as criminals. After a life of disappointment, the characters get a last chance at love, but are ultimately disappointed again, and the films frequently end with disillusionment or death. The overall tone often resembles nostalgia and bitterness. They are poetic because of a heightened aestheticism that sometimes draws attention to the representational aspects of the films. Though these films were weak in the production sector, French cinema did create a high proportion of influential films, largely due to the talented people in the industry in the 1930s who were working on them. The most popular set designer was Lazare Meyerson. Composers who worked on these films included Georges Auric, Arthur Honegger, Joseph Kusma, and Maurice Joubert. Screenwriters who contributed to many of the films included Charles Sparac and Jacques Prévert. The movement had a significant impact on later film movements, in particular Italian neo-realism and the French New Wave. Notable examples. Forerunners of the poetic realist movement include La Petite Lise by Jean Grémillon, Pension Mimosas by Jacques Feyder, Le Grand Jeu by Jacques Feyder. Works from leading filmmakers of the mid to late 1930s. L'Atalante by Jean Vigo, La Bandera by Julien Duvivier, La Belle Équipe by Julien Duvivier, Les Bas-Fonds, The Lower Depths by Jean Renoir, P. Acute La Moco by Julien Duvivier, La Grande Illusion by Jean Renoir, La Bête Humaine by Jean Renoir, Le Quai des Brumes by Marcel Carné, Hotel du Nord by Marcel Carné, La Règle du Jeu by Jean Renoir, Le Jour chez Livre by Marcel Carné.